So the other thing that's coming out with release 3 is a whole new reporting area in the system for construction. So before release 3, if you wanted to kind of get different types of cost reporting all in one place, for example, you wanted to see your estimated cost, your actual cost, your committed cost, billings, contracts, amounts, all that stuff, it's still a very, very good way to do it. Under financial reports, you can run all that together, but it's all technically going through the general ledger. So what they've come out with is a new reporting area called construction reporting. This sends over every document related to construction in the life cycle of the project. So all of your billings, all of your purchase orders, your estimate, your costs, your payments, all of that comes in one area. For those that are coming from a legacy system like Sage 300 CRE, which would be the Timberline product, this would be equivalent, in my eyes, to what was the job cost transaction file. So in there, you could see all the types of transactions, and you could filter them out by what's called a type, a transaction type, or in this case, a document. So what we'll do here is we'll go into reports, and we're ultimately going to end up over in the ICRW, the Interactive Custom Reports area. But I'm going to show you the data in the custom report wizard because obviously it shows a little simpler and visual here for you guys to see what we're talking about. Now, for time purposes, I did create one already called Project Transactions Report. We'll jump into there ultimately, but right now I'm going to go and actually create one from scratch. So I'm going to click on Add here, and the primary data source is where you'll see this new record. So, one of the first decisions in a custom report is where do I want to start? Where do I want to start getting the data from? Which field? AP bill, timesheets report. So traditionally you'd have some, project transactions under AP bill. You'd have some under purchase orders. You'd have some under AR invoice. Well, now if you scroll down far enough, you have one area called construction reporting. So you want to look for that. Usually it's alphabetical. Just keep an eye out for it. It may not be alphabetical, but in this case it is. Construction reporting. Once I select that, I can click next here. And now it shows me the fields that are available. So what this does is create a transaction line for every document related to the project. So you can see here, I can get things like GL account number, amount. Is this transaction billable for a time and material? Has it been billed? What's the cost type? What's the category? The material labor sub? Who's the customer? Things like document type, which is a big field here. So this would be like estimate transaction or AP bill. Okay, things like that you can get at now. And not only that, transaction date would be another big one, unit cost. So you can pick the fields you need, but also expand on any dimension in the system. So I can come in here and say, well, I want the vendor name as well, because I don't know the IDs. So I can come into here and I can find the vendor name, and I can add that as well. I think that's under vendor name here. Yep, vendor name right there. And then you have drill down capabilities if you select a field with the arrow, like you normally would have. So I just wanted to show you this because this shows a good visual of how you can expand on that and see all the information on the project. Okay. So let's go back to the list, and instead of going through every step in the wizard, let's go right into this report that I already created, the project transactions report. And I'll click edit here. And in here, I have the ability, just like we did earlier, where I went next here and I selected the fields that I wanted on the report. Typical custom report steps here. And I'll just next through this a little bit just to give you an idea. You can have columns. What order do you want the columns in? Which columns are, which columns do you want to sum or average out? And then you just keep going. How do you want to group it, sort it, etc. Okay, so you would do that based on a traditional, however you would normally build a custom report. And then to run it, we go to the second page here. Now we can get all that information in one report. And I went to the wrong page. Sorry about that. So if I go into BCS project transaction report, I can click run over here. And what you'll see is I'll have a place to filter it. I can say, you know, just show me transactions for San Antonio. And do I want to make it portrait or landscape, show details or not? But if I just click view, now you can see the way I built this was I sorted it by transaction type. So for this project, I want to see all my AP bills first, and then my AP payments and journal entries and estimates, and you can get totals for all of this information. But this is every transaction related to the project. Current budget, your current estimate, and you can filter and sort these to be specific by column. So you might just have one column might be your estimated cost, another column might be your actual cost. All of that is capable now with this new data area. And the best way to show you that is really take a look at the ICRW area, because that's where you're going to really fully utilize this new structure. So again, just like the custom reports, I created one already called Project Transactions. If we click Edit, oh, sorry about that. Let me refresh that as well here. Oh, I know, I did it in the wrong data folder. Let's go into Reports, Interactive Custom Reports. And I think I called it BCS Project Transactions. So if we go into here under Edit, now you can see that same data structure that we looked at on the custom report. And, you know, it's broken out a little bit differently in an ICRW design, but once this opens up here, we'll show you that. And then, you know, you can be a little more creative and visually appealing in the ICRW area. So there's that construction reporting folder, that new folder. And inside here, I can expand this. And now all those fields that we saw on the top in the other report, in the custom reports, is right here. So I can make this bigger if I want to. And basically open that up here. Not cooperating with me. Okay, there it goes. So, you know, as you can see here, you have the attributes, which are going to be, you know, the fields in the top record, the document type, the areas that we saw earlier. And then you have those dimensions like we saw on the bottom where you can expand and add them to the report. So, you know, this is kind of what I did here in this report was I put the project on top and then I sorted it by transaction type. So here's all the AP bill transactions for that project. And then you get a subtotal, AP payments. You know, you could put filters on here. So I put some prompts in the system so that I can prompt me for the project and the transaction type. So the end results can look like this. And again, this is just one quick example of how to use this data. There's just so much more we can now do with this reporting, and we'll be doing in this reporting as we go forward now. So if I come over to here and take a look at that BCS projects transaction report and click run, it's very flexible. So I can either have those as separate columns, like a WIP report, you know, where you have cost, billings, projections, or you can have them like this, where you say, you know what, I just want to see for this project, this type of transaction. So you just want to see your estimate, your original estimate. Click done, click view. And then you'll see, project, you don't have original estimate for that one. I picked a bad job. So let's go back here and try that again. So I'm in here. Let's go into PCS. It is important that you have data in the system. So we'll come into here and say, let's do this one. And that should be good. And let's do AP bill. See if we have any AP bills in here. Do a print preview. And then here you go. So for this project, there's all the AP bills, there's the total, there's the vendors. You could turn on drill downs and things like that as well. But now we can get that all in one area with this new reporting area called construction reporting. So definitely take a look at that. Reach out to us. We do have training and videos on report designing and ICRW and custom reports, along with the financial reporting. We can help you get trained on how to do them yourself or do some for you as well. But definitely some exciting times with data here in the system.